Super Benny here, talking about collecting versus hoarding. So, having a look on some of the videos, a lot of people tend to just buy random stuff. I know a lot of people like to get um, like full sets of things. People are just getting random pickups just because they're cheap. Just random stuff that you don't need. Um, this video kind of came into mind because I went past a house the other day and I could see through the window um, that he had an absolute ton of vinyl and that kind of stuff. Um, but looking at the house on the outside, like the fence needed some work, some other things needed some work. The house was a bit, needed a paint job and that kind of thing. The reason I'm getting onto this is like collecting versus hoarding is like sometimes you need to prioritize life in front of what you're collecting and this kind of stuff. I mean, some of the prices are getting crazy for things anyway. But if you forego in different stuff like looking after yourself or looking after your house or doing bits and bobs that you need to do in life, or you know, I haven't picked up that many games this month just because I'm going to need a new passport. I'm going to need this. It's been Christmas. It's been doing different stuff. So yeah, that comes first for me. But I know for a lot of people, it just for the videos, they kind of like, oh, I've got this, I've got that. I mean, always first look after yourself, and always put life first. Sometimes you can get too involved and you're just collecting just random stuff. Another thing as well is like big collector's editions. I mean, some of the collector's editions these days, absolutely huge boxes. I mean, I just have a small selection of random stuff I can just pick up and play and have fun. But sometimes it becomes overwhelming, and a lot of the YouTubers I do see, eventually they get so overwhelmed with the stuff because it's just plain stuff and material stuff that they're not really enjoying. Half of the games they pick up, they were so cheap anyway, they were just random. They never play, they never look at them, they never. It just sits on the shelf gathering dust. So if you're not enjoying them, don't pick them up. I mean, once you get the full set, what then? Or you're just going to sell it all, but you paid like maybe a high price for all of those things, and you might not even get back some of those prices. So, I always prioritize having fun, and that for me now is the most important rather than trying to get everything. A lot of people try to get everything, and oh, it's mine, I've got to have that, I've got to have that. There is another video coming up of about the crazy prices, but yeah, you're just going to prioritize what you like, what you enjoy. Don't let it overwhelm you. I know people from like some different kind of groups as well. They're collecting they've got to have the biggest collection, the biggest figures, all of the PAL region, or all of like the limited run, or all of the sleeves, or all of. You don't need all of those kind of things, but there is that kind of thing where you can get overwhelmed. I mean, I've collected stuff all the time, and I know what it is. So you want to get the full collection, or you want to get all of these, or it becomes overwhelming to a point, and that's why it just made me think the other day when I went past that house and I do see some other people's collections and that kind of stuff. Like, oh, what's going on? What is going on? So always prioritize, life. Put your health first and all that kind of stuff, and don't just kind of just fall into that trap of FOMO and I've got to have this, I've got to have that, because a lot of the time you just get fed up with the stuff, and in the end it's not really important, and family and life is. So take care of yourself first, before these crazy collections, because video games are just meant to be there for the fun. And I've seen people get into like, I see people just buying crazy amounts, be eating noodles all week, but yeah, they've got this huge collection, this game's coming out, but then they're not looking after themselves. It's craziness. So always go by your means. And don't just collect random stuff. Some people have so much overwhelming stuff where as well it becomes it's a bit full on, it's a bit too much. Imagine going into someone's room and you just see all kind of horror stuff, or all kind of like, you know, too much random toys, or too many like 90s nostalgia kind of thing. When you walk in, you're kind of like blown away, but like, whoa, you don't need all that merch. And a lot of companies now are starting to prey on this nostalgia, like giving away like random plastic junk and huge collector's editions and random stuff that you just catch that you don't need. I mean, games have always just been that, just games. I mean, going forward into the future, people just have all the digital stuff anyway, and a lot of youngsters will look back and think, some of them will think it's cool, but a lot of them will look back at the parents and be like, what have you got all this junk for? At the same time, but at the same time, some of them preserve it. Some, you know, I can agree. A lot of people preserve and keep all of the stuff pretty good and all that kind of stuff. So that is good, you know. Otherwise, you wouldn't find a lot of the games in such good condition and how old they are these days. So that way is kind of good. But there is some people who just collect random stuff, just pick up anything and everything. I mean, some games just need to go in the bin and be done with it. And if you're not loving it, don't collect it. So that's all I'd say about that. If you are liking the content, lots of more amazing videos coming up. Please like, please subscribe. We've got live videos, we've got gaming videos, lots of cool stuff, travel stuff, lots of cool stuff coming up for 2025. So make sure you stay tuned to the channel. This is Super Benny, Carlos Jose. Thanks for watching.